Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Ben. Welcome back to the channel. We're still up here in Alaska waiting on our new engine to get here so we can get back on the road. And I'm hoping it comes soon, within the next couple of days, because it is getting awfully cold. Last night was our coldest one yet. I think the overnight low dipped into the high 20s. And it's just too dang cold for my blood. So we gotta get on the road here soon. But today I figured, because we've got some downtime, I would take a look at some of the questions I've been getting in comments and DMs quite frequently and doing a little Q&A session with you all. So let's get right into it. Now, the top questions by far all have to do with money. The first one being, how much have I spent on the troopy to get to this point? And to be honest with you, it's not something that I've tracked super closely, because I'm sure if I went through all the receipts and tallied every little miscellaneous piece up, I know it's going to be more than I wanted to spend, and the sticker shock there would probably be pretty high. But back of the envelope math, I found the troopy online for 20K. The most expensive mod that I did to it was putting the alu cab on, and that was about 10K. Then I did the front and rear bumper, the wheels and suspension. Altogether, that was probably 6 or 7K. And then the interior build, the most expensive part there was definitely the electrical system, the batteries and the inverter and all of that. So I would put that probably at around 3K. So that puts us right at around $40,000. And then the unexpected expense most recently of dropping a remanufactured motor in here, probably right at around 8K when it's all said and done. So 48 with some wiggle room for the miscellaneous stuff, we'll call it 50 grand altogether to get to this point. And I know 50 grand definitely carries some sticker shock with it, but this is my house on wheels. This is my hotel every single night. I saved a lot of money by doing the work myself, certainly compared to some of the expedition vehicles that are built by companies that you can just buy off the shelf. I knew I would never be able to afford something like that, so this is my happy medium. On the same topic of money, the next big question I've been getting is around how much I expect to spend on the Pan American Highway. And again, this is a number that can vary wildly depending on how you expect to travel, the duration of your trip. For me, the way that I budgeted things out, I'm hoping to hit somewhere between $50 and $80 per day. And that's everything. That's food, that's gas, camping fees, any activities that I want to be doing. So there are obviously going to be days that are a lot more expensive than this. If we're putting a lot of miles in and I've got to fill up the tank a couple of times, it's like, whew, there goes the whole budget. But there are also days that are going to be a lot cheaper than this. As we're moving slow, if we're spending a couple of days at a single dispersed campsite, you can imagine having a $5, $10 day where your only expense is the food that you've got in the fridge. So the hope is that it sort of balances out. And this ties in with the third most popular question, which is about duration for this trip. How long do I expect to be on the Pan American Highway for? And so at that sort of $50 a day budget, the way I've been saving over the years and planning for this trip, I'm hoping to ballpark it somewhere around 18 to 24 months. Moving slow is definitely my goal here. I want to take the time to really explore these places and to, just take it all in. It's all going to be so new for me that I don't want to feel rushed while I'm doing it. And so 18 months at about $50 a day, that's like $30,000, which again is a number with some sticker shock to it. But this is a trip that I've been planning for and saving for about the last decade. And I think also there are ways to make money on the road. If I've got to park somewhere for 2 weeks and wash dishes or work at a campground or a hostel or something like that, I think those are definitely options that are available. So I guess at the end of it, we'll be able to check back in and see how much I truly spent, but that's sort of the budget and the goal. So after the money questions, the next most common set of questions are about the build itself. What's working, what isn't. This build is a constant work in progress. I have never done anything like this before. I've never lived on the road full time before. So I'm learning what I like and what I don't like and what needs to change every single day. So on the topic of what I like most on my build right now, it's really my core systems. My freshwater tank and my power system are places where I got a lot of feedback and input during the build itself, with people saying that what I was thinking was overkill or overbuilt. I put a 24-gallon freshwater tank in here and 400 amp hours of lithium power. And a lot of folks were telling me that it was too much of my mass budget, too much space, and I was spending too much money on it. But I am so happy that they are overbuilt. With 24 gallons of fresh water, I am never worried about running out of water before I get a chance to refill, which is just a peace of mind and a comfort that I'm super grateful to have. And the same is true with power. With 400 amp hours of lithium, I can run all of my systems. I can charge batteries, charge my laptop, and sit at a campsite for 4 to 5 days without having to worry about getting to recharge on shore power or driving so that the alternator can recharge things. And I honestly wouldn't make any changes to those systems if I was doing it over again. I think those core systems are a place where if you can overbuild it, if you've got the space and the volume and the money to do it, you should, because you're really going to depend on them while you're out here. And so the flip side of that coin, things that aren't working well in the troopy right now, I think the first thing that comes to mind is really just the storage. And I don't know if that's because I've got too much crap with me or it's just not organized properly yet, but it's definitely a place where I need to spend some more time thinking about. The camp kitchen is a good example of this. I've got all of my camp kitchen, my pots, my pans, my utensils, my seasonings, everything in the single alu box with not really a great system in there. It's sort of all just thrown in there, and I'm constantly digging for what I need at any given moment. And so spending some time to really dial those types of things in, I think are going to make life a lot better in the long term. So I'll probably be rethinking what my overall storage solution looks like in the near future as I get some downtime over the holidays. So the next set of questions I've been getting have to do with the Pan American Highway itself. And the first being, what am I most looking forward to as I continue to make progress on this trip? And I gotta be honest with you, after the last 3.5 weeks stuck up here in Alaska with it getting colder by the day, right now it's only 38 degrees out here. The thing that I'm most looking forward to is warm beach campsites, sun shining, waves crashing, getting out on the surfboard in the water. It's been a constant daydream, and that's what's getting me through this time right now. So I cannot wait to make more progress south and get some of those campsites on the books. And the follow-up question there about the Pan American Highway is, are there things that I'm nervous about or worried about in the future on this trip? And full transparency, yeah, there's a ton of stuff that creeps into the back of my mind and has me a bit worried, because there's just so much unknown and new to me on a trip like this. Certainly international border crossings are a big one. You hear a lot about people either getting through with no problems or getting through with a ton of problems because of paperwork or vehicle import stuff, or importing their dogs with them and having the right papers available. So that's something that I'm spending a lot of time reading and researching and hoping that I'll be prepared for. And then just a ton of unknown situations. You hear about encounters with local police, or bribery attempts, or other situations people may run into on a trip like this. And I'm not spending a ton of time thinking about those, but they definitely are in the back of my mind. I've also been getting a lot of questions around just doing a trip like this with your dog. What are some of the challenges and pros and cons of having Bandit with me? And I think the pros here are obvious. He's my best friend, and it has been so fun to have him along for this journey and just share so many great experiences together. Going on hikes and exploring at new campsites and letting him find all the new smells and the good sticks. It's just makes me feel like he's really living his best life, and that's all we can hope to give our pets, right? Is just the best possible life and so many good experiences. So it's been really fun. I think there are challenges though, obviously. Having all of the paperwork in order for the various international border crossings, even coming to Alaska required a special health certificate from a vet that had to be within 10 days of crossing the border. And so, you know, there are some logistical challenges involved. More recently, being stuck here in this small town, one of the challenges we had to overcome was the grocery store here didn't sell his brand of dog food. And so transitioning to a new dog food is never something that's easy on pets, but making sure you're thinking ahead and planning for those types of things are just important little extra pieces that you have to think about. And along the same lines, right, I really am thinking about him and his comfort as I'm planning our days or planning, you know, where we're going next, temperature wise, things to do. If there are activities that I want to do that would mean he has to stay in the car for extended periods or things, right, we're sort of, I don't want to say limited, we're not limited in what we can do, but it presents another layer of thinking based on what makes your pet most comfortable, what makes you most comfortable as a pet owner. And there are solutions to everything, right? If I wanted to do a half-day trip to do a glacier hike, I could find a rover pet sitter. I could find someone who would watch him for half a day. In, you know, bigger towns and places, I'm sure that's possible, and people have done it. But yeah, I think that really speaks to the challenge, is just logistically planning for the fact that you have a dog and making sure that you're taking the best care of them possible, while also getting to experience everything that you want to. I really wouldn't have it any other way though. Having him along for this journey is really the best part of the trip. The memories that we're making together, I'm so excited for what's to come and to share every moment of it with him. The final question I've been getting that really just blows me away is how can we support you? And already I've got to say, this community has been just absolutely the best, supporting me through all the ups and the downs and the pivots and the different directions we've been going in. I can't tell you how thankful I am for each and every single one of you. Probably the best way to support what I'm doing is watching these videos. Give them the thumbs up if you like what we're doing. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other videos. Maybe share it with a friend if you think they'd be into what I'm doing. Like I mentioned in the last video, I've also just opened up the channel membership option here on YouTube. If you feel so inclined to join up and support what I'm doing in that way, I'm hoping that I can use that as an opportunity to add even more value here as well. And my website's back online, ouradventureoverland.com. There is a web shop there with some t-shirts and some hats and mugs and things, and I'm working on getting even more uploaded there. And that all goes directly to support this trip and what I'm doing. So there are options there, but really just the fact that you're here and you're watching means the world to me. I'm really hoping that the next video here brings some good news that the engine has arrived and we're working on getting it installed and getting back on the road. And I'll bring you along for every step of that process. So until the next one, get out and explore somewhere.